This story teaches us the essential lesson of not placing complete trust in others, regardless of the degree of the kinship or friendship between us and anyone else. In 2017, a girl named Nagla Saeed lived in Kafr Dawar in Egypt. She was a university student and a genuinely kind-hearted person who loved doing good deeds and helping the needy. She also actively participated in various charitable activities, contributing to all the charity work aimed to assisting those in need. This was the reason behind everyone's love for her, plus being a kind person. Her life was peaceful until one day she received a message on Facebook. That message was the beginning of a devil entering her life. It was sent by a girl named Nurhan, who, despite her beautiful appearance, constantly felt a sense of inadequacy. And as she told Nagla, she admired everything Nagla did, including her charitable actions. Nurhan sent a message asking Nagla to be friends, and Nagla, being a kind-hearted person, agreed. Their friendship grew over 5 years, during which Nurhan learned more about Nagla's life, including that Nagla was self-reliant and was working alongside her studies to cover her university expenses. She worked as a secretary in a clinic within a famous mall and a medical center in Kafr Dawar. Nagla, through her job, donated part of her salary to charitable organizations. Nurhan also knew about Nagla's close friendship with her colleagues in neighboring clinics. Despite all of Nagla's friends agreeing on their love to her, they simultaneously shared a sense of discomfort towards Nurhan. And whenever they expressed this to Nagla, she would defend Nurhan, portraying her as an extremely kind and genuine person. In reality, Nurhan was a strong manipulative, convincing Nagla that she cared for her the most, monitoring every single detail of Nagla's life over the years. Nurhan also went to great opportunity to sow discord among Nagla and her friends, making it easier for herself to persuade Nagla that she was the only one genuinely wishing her well and loving her among them. Unfortunately, Nagla believed Nurhan to the extent of considering her a sister. Despite Nagla's closest friends consistently warning her about Nurhan's unsettling personality, Nagla refused to believe any negative comments about Nurhan. One of the things that Nurhan learned about Nagla was her financial income, and also the earnings that the clinic where Nagla worked in was making in general. Since doctors trusted Nagla, they often tasked her with managing their clinic finances. Nurhan was also aware of Nagla's habit of buying gold pieces to preserve her money and avoid unnecessary spending. One day, Nurhan asked Nagla to find her a job opportunity with her in the same clinic where Nagla was working. Coincidentally, Nagla had a month-long exams at her college, so Nurhan offered to work in her place during this period, and Nagla agreed to that. And here begins another part of the story, a part that related to envy and resentment. In reality, Nurhan harbored a strong internal resentment towards Nagla due to people's love for her. Additionally, when it was time for Nurhan's engagement party, she was surprised by the absence of anyone among her friends other than Nagla. Unlike the time when Nagla fell ill, during that period, Nurhan visited Nagla's house, only to find all of Nagla's friends there, repeatedly checking on her and offering assistance every day. It was from here that feelings of jealousy and greed unleashed the demons within Nurhan. Days passed, and the year 2021 came. Nurhan contacted someone named Mustafa, who had familial connection with her, informing him that Nagla had a significant amount of money in her bag due to funds collected for charitable activities. She also told him that Nagla was wearing large amounts of gold and had 2 high-value mobile phones. Nurhan asked Mustafa for help in robbing and killing Nagla, and Mustafa agreed, and they began to plan the crime with a third person under Nurhan's guidance, as she was well aware of all the details. The initial plan was as follows. Nurhan would place a hypnotic in a juice that she would offer to Nagla. Once Nagla drank the juice and fell asleep, Mustafa, along with the third person who had a car, would kidnap Nagla. Then they planned to head to a desert area where they would kill and rob Nagla, leaving her lifeless body there. They also agreed in advance on how to divide the stolen proceeds among the three of them. However, just 1 hour before executing the plan on the agreed upon day, Mustafa called Nurhan to inform her that his friend with the car had backed out and wouldn't participate in the crime. Mustafa asked Nurhan to put off the execution until they could come up with the alternative plan. After 2 months, Mustafa contacted her to inform her that he had devised an alternative plan, and he would rely on another person named Muhammad, who agreed to assist them in exchange of a share of the loot. Their new plan was as follows. The entire robbery would take place within the medical clinic where Nagla worked, as Nurhan had already been working there for a month, so her presence wouldn't raise any suspicions. Then Muhammad and Mustafa would enter the clinic as patients. When Nurhan confirmed that Nagla would be alone in the clinic that day, due to the doctor's absence, she decided that it would be the day to execute the crime. However, the plan didn't unfold as intended, because Nagla refused to drink the juice. But Nurhan decided to proceed with the plan anyway that day. So, she informed Mustafa via a WhatsApp message that she would pretend to faint and collapse in the clinic's restroom. And when Nagla goes to assist her, Mustafa and Muhammad would swiftly enter the clinic, and Mustafa agreed to the new plan. Nurhan did exactly what was planned, and as Nagla headed to the restroom to help Nurhan, she was shocked to find Mustafa behind her, and she felt that something was wrong. So she began screaming. Mustafa immediately throttled her, while Muhammad locked the clinic door. Mustafa then continued to hit her head against the wall, while Nurhan went to the kitchen to bring a knife and stabbed Nagla in her head several times. And once they made sure she was dead, they stole all the money and jewelry from her. Afterwards, they damaged all the surveillance cameras. Nurhan then casually opened the clinic door and walked out as if nothing just had happened. Afterward, Muhammad descended first, followed by Mustafa a few minutes later. After half an hour of Nagla's murder and robbery, her friends and colleagues noticed her absence. So, they entered to check on her, but they were shocked to find her lifeless body on the restroom's floor. And immediately they began screaming, gathering everyone in the building. Several doctors quickly examined Nagla and confirmed her death. They then instructed everyone to leave the clinic without touching anything until the police arrived to the scene. Upon their arrival, the police lifted fingerprints at the scene after discovering the destruction of all the surveillance cameras inside the clinic. The investigation began, and one of Nagla's friends informed the police that she had seen Nurhan descending the stairs looking distressed and confounded. Within hours, the police reviewed all the surveillance cameras inside and outside the mall, identifying the entry of Mustafa and Muhammad to the clinic. After that, the police learned about the connection between Nagla, Muhammad and Mustafa, which was Nurhan. Additionally, fingerprints found at the crime scene were matched to Nurhan. So, in the early morning of the following day, all three criminals were arrested. After thorough investigations, the court sentenced Nurhan to death, as well as Mustafa. However, since Muhammad was only 17 years old, he received a 15-year prison sentence. And as usual, see you in the next video.